Masala Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the one and only A.R. Rahman. Everybody that I spoke to Udit ji, I spoke to Mano ji. The first thing they begin saying is, Rahman is a genius. He is a genius. How many times have you heard this word? Do you think of yourself as a genius, or have you consumed that word inside?
I think they're being very kind. So I know, any person, they know what we lack and what we have. And sometimes we just need to smile and work on all your shortcomings, and then life is all about evolving, refining constantly. Otherwise, the circle is complete.
Yeah.
So the circle is complete. There's no meaning in life. So we need to explore new things and challenges.
It gets harder. The first few challenges are exciting because you don't know, you are discovering it. Once you discover your challenge, then to hone and refine it is so difficult.
It is difficult. Then now. Under music, we wanted to expand into film production, and so there's a lot of learning, a lot of terrifying things too. so all that stuff keeps you, alert, and then it keeps you on the edge. And so with all these learnings, music, the way you look at music is also evolving. The way you look at it is much more expansive, not limited, and so. Yeah, I think whole life is a lesson. Yes. I'm warning you.
We throw parties, and when I play your original Chaiya Chaiya or I play the original Mukabla, it is still fresh. What did you hear when you made Mukabla? Did you hear the sound in your head like a painter who's painting on just white canvas?
I think it's a feeling. So if you feel it, if you feel all the stuff other is all secondary. Or technical stuff is secondary, but then if you feel something, it may be the most silly thing or it may be the most refined thing. It's about that. It's not about the process. The process actually falls apart. Falls into it because when you're driven by a vision and you're driven by a heart, then things are much more easier and you just feel it.
Some songs you throw in a break like that, in that Tal Western mix. Was it just random? I'm trying to get into your head a little bit, Rahman sir. I'm just trying to think a little bit like you. What and when did you get that inspiration to throw in like that?
It was supposed to be drastically different from the traditional version. So I was just trying to get a soundscape of different vocal chants. So it would be completely regenerated remix of the original. So that's what Subhashji wanted. It's like the character was demanding it. So the character was taking something traditional, remixing it. And so I had to go into his head and do something which is tricky.
It is so difficult once you attain success to keep yourself humble and grounded, because I believe God gives you, the more humble you are, when God gives you something and you remain humble, He's going to give you more. But it's such a difficult thing to do. What do you do? Because you have such a big name, right? A.R. Rahman. You make the world dance, but you remain so humble. I see your videos. I was looking at your videos, and you sound like a guy that's living in my building. Just a very simple guy talking to me. Everybody has an ego, but you don't seem to have a big head. How do you practice that?
I do have creative ego, but personal ego is something which is controlled by my spirituality. So, when you are spiritual, you understand what the world is. At least you try to understand better. So, I think that keeps me in place. And also, when you think about the life is very transitional and you're not permanent in any way. So, that keeps you like, I'm not going to take all this fame, money, everything. But maybe some good deeds will remain. And that's very temporary. So, that, in every spiritual teaching, this is the basic. And this is the stuff which keeps you grounded.
It's all very transient. So you believe in God. You have a strong belief in God and in spirituality.
Yes. The idea of God for everyone is different. In mine, I think we all have a visual. I feel God is a word, but the philosophy of what created us and how small we are in terms of the galaxy, the universe, in everything, and even in knowledge, makes you, wonder, makes you respect that something bigger is there. That knowledge, that power which is beyond you, is an inspiration, and then you can derive from that source, and then if it's good, it's fine. And most of us take the good things.
You know, when I hear your song from Lagan, Radha Kaise Na Jale, it sounds like a Hindu poet singing that song. And then when I hear the Azim-u-Shan Shahenshah or something from Jodha Akbar, you know, like a Sufi Muslim poet, you seem to break the barriers of religion and spirituality. It sounds like you are like your music. You know, religion it's your world, and you're not confined to any one book.
True, I think the more you go deeper, the more you understand that beyond all this, the truth is much bigger than all this. And the process of discovering itself is an amazing thing. And then when you're half-baked is when you fight. when you realize the vastness of it, and there's beauty in it, and then you just go beyond, and one thing you give is love, because that's the most beautiful thing.
Last time in the Jai Ho tour, I brought my mom with me, and my mom raised me. My father passed away 2 months before I was born. My mom has raised me all her life. Everything I have is because of her. She lives in my house. And last time you had the big screen, and Lataji was on that big, huge screen, and you sang the Ma song. I cried and I held my mom's hand. My mom and I looked at each other. I've never been able to say, "Mom, I love you," and it's not easy for me. But that moment, that day, in that screen, and you behind the screen, you just walking around and you singing that song, it was one of the most endearing moments with my mother.
Thank you. I think that's the reality we have. Mother is a reality of what, and probably like one attribute of God the mother has, and because we come through. All of us come through our mothers, and there is a spiritual connection, and their prayers are very, very important for our well-being, and our prayers to them is very important.
And I know how much you take care of your mother, because a couple of years ago you were here at a restaurant, and you were there, your mom and your sister were there, and you were like, "Please bring my mom some mango lassi," and that was the most important thing to you. Bring us a mango lassi.
So now she can't walk, unfortunately. She had a stroke. So.
Oh, I see.
Thank you.
So let's talk about your show, sir. And this is going to be your last show in Houston. We're in Houston, and we're looking forward to Rajender, Star Promotions, Masala Radio. We're all looking forward to your show in Houston. We have seen your little video clips, and we have seen the little pictures. It looks like a music festival. What message do you have for all our listeners?
When you come and you see in flesh and blood, that's a whole new experience, and we're glad that we've had all this. Each show we evolve, we perfect things, and in a way I think the Houston show will be a much better show, because we have come this far. We've done all these shows, 9 shows, and so I'm really looking. Remembering Houston audience, they're amazing. I'm really looking forward to the show. All of us, all the artists.
A couple of pictures I saw, you wearing a white Sgt. Pepper jacket. I think it's probably the best jacket I've ever seen in my life. Do you have that?
Thank you. I think the credit goes to my wife. She goes and shops for me for all that stuff.
I would love to know that. That was my question. I said, when I meet AR, I'm going to ask him, where did he get that jacket? Because I love military jackets, and that white jacket, you know what I'm talking about? It's like a little Sgt. Pepper jacket.
Which jacket? The first one, or?
The one that has a little rose, like something in the front, like a band kind of jacket. It's a white jacket with embroidery in the front and on the shoulder pads.
Okay. In this concert or before?
No, before.
Oh, I think I wore it for the when I was playing with Hans Zimmer.
Yes.
In the back. Yeah.
That's
that one?
That's such a sweet jacket.
Okay, I'll tell her.
You are very, very patriotic. Your Vande Mataram was a big hit. What do you miss most about India in your LA home, or now that you're touring?
I think when you grow up with your friends and family, and the spiritual places, and then the people. Look at the people. Of course, coming out is great, because you get a fresh perspective of the world. You see what's happening when you go back. I like both, actually. I like staying in Chennai or Mumbai, and then I come out here and explore, shop, go back. I like this life.
I am a night owl. I like to work. I like to record. I like to write my jokes late at night. But my wife tells me,
Okay.
Sunil, what are you doing? You need to wake up early in the morning. You need to get to bed. And I need to tell her, Rahman does this. So what do you tell your mom and your wife? How do you convince them that it's okay to work all night long?
That you have to do it before marriage. Before marriage, program the computer. The thing is, when everybody has the vision of what a husband or wife will do, but then you discuss this marriage, they're okay with it. You can't give surprises.
So you...
So, clean and start drinking, or so you have to be very honest in the beginning. So that will work.
Did your mom ever scold you about staying up all night? Because I know you were 17 when you made your big hit and you were up all night. Mano was telling me that you recorded Mukala 3 in the morning.
No, it's like everybody likes to. This is like a swag thing for them. Oh, I know. I went at 3 o'clock. I finished at 4 o'clock morning.
Is that not
and they
true?
all keep forgetting. No, I think Makula was not played in the morning. I don't think so.
He was saying that 3 in the morning I went there, I walked outside, and then I heard Mehbooba on some transistor drinking chai. I went back in and I said, Rahman sir, Mehbooba, I've got an idea. And then he sang Mukala.
Yeah, I think it's good that stories change.
In that,
his voice is amazing. He actually the inspiration was more A.B. Amitabh Bachchan. What are the songs he sang? Yeah, I know. It probably is his persona kind of thing inspired. I was telling Mano, then why don't you sing like A.B. Amitabh Bachchan and then see what happens? And yeah, maybe I forgot. Maybe he's right.
and in that song Mukala, there's a line for Texas Menache, something like that, right?
Yeah. People went wild when we did that in Dallas.
I mean, obviously you knew what Texas was, but I mean, actually I did not know what Texas was back then.
No, the thing was, the writer, Wali sir, Wali is an amazing, he knows to write the Rahman and he knows to write stuff like this, Mukabla. So he died, passed away a couple of years back, but he was like an amazing person to work with. I really miss him. So it was his words, which was translated in Hindi later, from Tamil to Hindi.
The music production really looks like a music festival. This time, you've got a stage and you got a show that looks like a music festival with just people just kind of bumping and jamming. Was that the idea? Who designed the production?
Production is actually, for the past 3 years, we've been nudging and then trying to refine a lot of things. Sound and then orchestration. And so Ranjit Barad is the music director. He has taken some of the songs, rearranged it. And then DT was Nazif Mohammed. So it is a part of all the full entourage. And when we did the intimate tour, we decided, okay, now less dances, more music. And so we said, why don't we put the dances on the screens? Because now we have time-coded, click tracks going on. So all the stuff is like, it evolved from probably 2015. It was nudge. Then we tried and tested in many places. So we bring the best to the US. So it's also the ride of nostalgia, like going through the various songs and also this is actually a double show. We're giving 3 hours of music and going through this whole ride of joy, love, spirituality, patriotism, all the stuff together.
It's a journey home.
Yes, it is.
Rajender from Star Promotions says that we've got the best venue in Houston. It's a brand new, you've heard about this, right? It's Smart Center. It's a brand new center. Beautiful venue.
Oh, brilliant.
It is mind-blowing. It is such a good venue. You could be on stage and you could not even have a mic. You could just speak in your normal voice and everybody could hear you. Sir, it has been a pleasure to speak to you. I would love for you to give me a drop for Masala Radio Houston.
Hi, this is Rahman and you're listening to Masala Radio. I'm with Sunil Thakkar.
And what's the last thing you want to tell your fans and your audience in Houston?
Houston, I love you. See you there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Masala